What is up, guys? So Classic Fresh has officially been confirmed. WoW Classic Season of Mastery coming soon. Greetings adventurers, WoW Classic Season of Mastery is coming, giving all players a brand new chance to start fresh and a level playing field. This time around we are planning #slightly more changes. We will launch new Classic WoW realms for Season of Mastery. These realms will invite new and current Classic players to begin fresh at level 1 for a complete reset of WoW Classic's content, starting again at the very beginning of the World of Warcraft saga. So based on that, what is different in WoW Classic Season of Mastery? There's been lots of videos posted by myself and other people asking for different kinds of changes for WoW Classic Fresh. One of my big ones was obviously getting rid of bots, and also I wanted to see a nerf to mage boosting, so I'm excited to see if that's happening, and also leveling speed. So as with the first release of WoW Classic, we are planning 6 content release phases. In WoW Classic Season of Mastery, however, phase unlocks will happen faster. We are planning for a 12-month cadence, with phases unlocking roughly every couple of months, so every 2 months. Here is the current outline for the 6 phases. Phase 1, WoW Classic Season of Mastery launch. Molten Core, Onyxia, Maraudon, PvP Honor System and Battleground up from phases 3 and 4. So phase 2 is pretty much world bosses. Phase 3, Blackwing Lair, Darkmoon Fair, and Darkmoon deck drops begin. Phase 4, Sulgurb and Green Dragons. Phase 5, AQ. Phase 6, Naxxramas and the Scourge Invasion. So it looks really a lot like WoW Classic's content phases as well, but they have pushed PvP Honor System and Battlegrounds into Phase 1, and Phase 2 is only for world bosses, so world PvP should be in Phase 1, while in regular Classic WoW it wasn't really until Phase 2. You could still kill people in the open world, but there was no PvP Honor System, so Phase 2 was a shit show back in Classic. That's going to be in Phase 1 now, so that's going to be really interesting, and you will probably see a lot of PvP going on. So Phase 1, Molten Core, Phase 2, World Bosses, Phase 3, Blackwing Lair, Phase 4, Phase 3, 4, and 5, and 6 are very much like Classic WoW. So yeah, let's just move on. Raid Boss Updates. The original release of WoW Classic was made to recreate the difficulty and challenges of patch 1.12 from the original World of Warcraft release. While we strived to bring a faithful recreation of that release, many raid encounters turned out to be easier than the first time around. Players simply were more experienced and prepared, and patch updates greatly increased player power. Yeah, a lot of the actual bosses died very fast in Classic WoW, both because, well, players theorycraft the actual challenge away way before the game comes out, and we have been doing these bosses on private servers or Voldemort servers all the time, so people are really used to those boss fights. With that in mind, we're planning a few changes to make those early raid bosses pack a bit more of a punch, and attempt to recapture the original challenge they presented. These changes currently include, but are not limited to, world buffs like Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer and others are disabled in raid instances, good. Restoring mechanics that were removed early on. Restoring mechanics that were removed early on to some raid bosses, meaning more difficult than pre-nerf bosses. No boss debuff limit, up from 16 debuffs in WoW Classic. I mean, that's going to make it easier though. But then increased health on bosses to offset player buffs, and removed the debuff limit, so they will have to increase the health by a lot in my opinion, pretty much like base it on the enrage timer, and make it more of an actual DPS check. Probably could be good. Our intent with these changes is for this experience to feel somewhat more challenging than WoW Classic did in 2019. Due to Season of Mastery's faster content release cadence, we are also planning several improvements and changes, and these include faster leveling. We are planning on increasing experience gains from what they were in the first iteration of WoW Classic. Our current plan is to set them close to what the 1 to 60 XP rate are in the Burning Crusade Classic, with a bigger focus on quest XP increases. This is one of the things that I brought up in my video as well on what I wanted to see in Classic WoW Fresh, or yeah, Fresh Classic, to see more experience from quests to kind of offset mage boosting, so questing would be the primary way to level and the fastest way to level, so hopefully they base it on Burning Crusade Classic, but put a much bigger emphasis and focus on quest XP increase, and I would want to see them tone down the experience you get from mobs in dungeons, or at least address mage boosting somehow. So whenever you have a level 60 mage in your group, the experience could go down by a lot, and so on, so it's not like based on the average level of your group. I just want to see mage boosting actually be gone, so we can see the open world more and we can have like you level regularly instead of just being boosted 24/7. And yeah, just get rid of mage boosting and I'm gonna be happy. Also, botting. So quality of life updates. In addition, we are planning on introducing certain improvements that were not in the original WoW Classics release, but we think can help create a better experience, such as meeting stones being converted to summoning stones. Absolutely beautiful. Increased mining and herbalism nodes, once again, absolutely beautiful. That's going to be great. Realms tend to be more densely populated in WoW Classic compared to the original 2005 design. Increasing gathering node spawns should provide a more consistent economy this time around. Like, if you picked up Black Lotus, there simply was not enough supply to offset all of the demand, which created a huge demand for that item, which also spiked the price way through the roof. Now, as for release date, we don't have one, but WoW Classic Season of Mastery will have an open beta beginning on October 5th, so that is in 5 days. That is incredibly fast, and we can start playing it really soon. It's also an open beta, so everyone can play it in 5 days. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes and many others as we continue to iterate on them. Keep an eye on the forums and worldofwarcraft.com/news for the latest developments. So I want to ask you guys, faster leveling, are you for or against it? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's read through some of the comments on this post itself on the World of Warcraft website. So based on what I'm reading on the forums, people don't seem to be too on board with the experience rate increase, and to this guy in particular, it's a huge turnoff. In his opinion, we need a nerf to mage boosting, I totally agree, but I also want to see, I kind of like the experience increase, at least for questing, and based on it being a 12-month cadence with 2 months every single phase, you kind of need to level fast. Sure, if you can play 24 hours a day, it could take you a week to level up, but then if you cut that in half, so 12 hours a day, which is still a lot for a lot of players, that is 2 weeks. If you cut that in half, which is 6 hours a day, which is still a lot, you will take an entire month to reach max level. If you cut that in half as well, which is 3 hours a day, which is still a lot of playtime for a regular casual player, that is the entire first phase spent only on leveling, and you won't even get into Molten Core before something else is out, even though phase 2 doesn't really have any raids coming out with it, but still, you get my point. So this guy also, world buffs, I think world buffs is a good thing. His main point seems to be that Fury Warrior is excruciating without world buffs, and I think that's good. Maybe this time around we'll see something other than 35 warriors in a 40-man raid, so it will just make more classes playable in raids. But I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about the experience buffs and what you think they should do in the scenario. Should it be like a 2x, 3x, or literal classic Burning Crusade Classic with like a 20% increase, or more like a 30% increase? Let me know in the comments down below. I also want to let you guys know that there is a tournament, an event happening whenever this actually comes out, and that is the Road to Ragnaros. This is an event that is being put on by the Classic WoW community and Cargos and the Classic Hardcore team, and this is an event for $10,000 for actually defeating Ragnaros in hardcore mode. The actual rules surrounding the event, I will leave a link to the website down below so you can check it out for yourself, but it sounds like a really fun event. There's a lot of content creators involved, myself included, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Basically, the entire event is based around defeating Ragnaros in Molten Core without ever dying yourself, so it's an Iron Man hardcore run where you're not allowed to die. It is a really fun event happening in Classic Fresh, so feel free to peep the link in the description. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Classic Fresh is finally coming out. I can't wait to play it in 5 days. Hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe for Classic Fresh content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.